Welcome back to the third episode of Planet Coaster here on the Boardwalk Park. Last episode we made the Wild Mouse Coaster, and as I said in that episode, we are going to make the Midway Games section this episode. It is going to span across the lift section of the Wild Mouse Coaster, and in this video it is quite short, so I also said that I was going to name the park. Since this episode is so short, I am going to get right into what we are doing in this episode. So right now I am building the shops and the building around it, giving it the overall look. It has a white, blue, and then when the roof comes it will have a red feel to it. It's of classical American vintage style, I would say. And I also have my trick that I'm doing, so the shops that are in front are going to get covered with a screen. And those screens are going to have pictures of real life games. I don't know how much it's going to fit into a gaming setting, but it's worth a shot. And I know that if I were to do it with art shapes, it would turn out way worse. So right here we are putting in the topping to our roof, which adds the red part, and we're going to put some stilts onto this raised area. And then after this, we do go in and put in the screens. So another thing with the screens, they are going to be in front of shops so that people walk up to them and they can have gifts from there. So it's like they actually won something. There are 5 sections to this building. We have a staff building to the very left, and next to that there is a Looney Balloons, and so the game that is going to be associated with is a balloon popping game. And then we have a Hats Fantastic, and there is going to be a ring toss game associated with that. Putting the panels on now to put those up. And then off to the side we have a mini arcade with a claw machine and a fortune teller guy. Now you're about to see the images I chose. So the first one I chose was a skee ball. It was actually the last image that I came up with. I could not find 3 images to save the life of me. I knew I wanted to do a balloon popping game and a ring toss, but the third image I just really couldn't find. So I went with that. I'm not really pleased with it, but it's what I had to do. And there was a fade there just because it took me a very long time to get this pathing to work. So I decided to skip it for you guys and save the brain strain. After I place this down, there is a lot of ocean or lake showing, so I had to figure out a way to cover that up. And I decided not to go with dirt this time and to go with concrete. I felt like that would fit better. There's a lot of dirt around, so concrete gives it a more solid feeling to it. And then obviously I have to fill in the railing here, so I go over and grab some rail and push it over and realign it because for some reason it wasn't aligned all that well. That's what the next couple of seconds are about, but after that we're going to do some cosmetical things, filling in some dirt where it needs to be filled in, where in the Wild Mouse area, to make sure that it fits in with the rest of the boardwalk area, and gating in the rest so nobody can get hurt. And there is a little gate that you will see in just one moment, and I kind of went off. I couldn't really fit it in the corner that it was in, so I used the shape that the fences were making together, and I made it a little gate, which is about to happen right here. So I put it in on both sides, and after I fill in this side, I try and fill in that little gap there, and it makes a little gate size rectangle. And so I go into the screens area and I put in a TV holder as a little handle. Continuing with the cosmetic things, I am putting in some cameras, especially around the Midway Games section, to make sure nothing gets stolen out of the little shops. And because people want their stuffed animals even if they don't win the game. Finishing the cosmetic things is going to send us into the second part of the video, where we get to talk about what the name of the park is going to be. So the name was suggested by Zachary Lunsford 2, so thanks so much and congratulations on getting chosen for that. We are going to name the pier Geek Pier. So going off track a little bit, there is going to be another chance to name something in this park that is actually going to occur next week. So I'm not going to tell exactly what's going to happen, so make sure to stay tuned for next week's episode. Anyways, going back to what we were talking about in the video, we are creating the sign right now. It has an orange front, and I've seen this in a lot of Planet Coaster videos where you take the light box, letters, word box, and you sink it behind a panel and it only shows the letters. So you can change the color and the font, which we're doing, and we're changing all the words. And now we're going to realign them so that Peter stays all on the background color. And then we are going to change the color. The colors that I chose for the sign are purely based on what I think looked the best. So in the back, I made them black so they don't stand out as much, and we are going to move the panel back a little bit. But in the end, I tried out all these different colors, orange, different shades of purple, because I think the purple would go best since orange and purple are like complementary colors. So I went with a purple solid color and a teal light baby blue color as an outline, and I really do think that this sign does look very good. So I can't just be a floating sign though, so I sunk these steel support structures from the studios pack into the ground and made them as tall as the sign so that it does look realistic. So the rest of the video is basically filling the rest of this in. I'm going to put a little bit of lights in and an overhang area. And I think there is a little trick at the very end. So make sure to stay all the way to the end to see that. So we're going to put in the lights right here. But I'm going to end my talking spree right here and leave you with a little bit of cinematic view, maybe a minute's worth. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week. Bye.